Hey guys, Chris here. We're going to be showing you how to do hydroturf install today on a custom 14-foot mini jet boat that I built. Here's a quick walk around on the boat. Swim deck right here, taking a lot of abuse. Boat's about 2 months old since I finished. Deck lid here. Totes really chewing that up as soon as you put something on it. Got the dog house, the sides, stepping in and out of the boat. So we're going to be putting hydroturf on these areas that take most of the abuse here. This front part hopping in and out, and we'll see how it goes. Pretty basic tools here. Putty knife, industrial scissors here, utility blade. Make sure you steal your wifey's glue gun. That always makes her excited. And templates. We'll show you how to make some templates today. These ones are hammered. They've been around, but for what we're doing, they'll do just fine. Big pieces, small pieces, they're made out of poster board. You could cut them with a straight edge, keep them square, or you could just buy some ram board. So square, some levels, basic stuff. Here's your hydroturf. This has the 3M backing on it, and it is the molded diamond, just in black. It seems to get better reviews as far as holding up a little bit longer than, say, the camo stuff or the painted stuff. So here's the swim deck, taking a lot of abuse. There's my stomp grate. Also have a transducer mount so that I don't smash my transducer when I'm jumping gravel bars and stuff like that. This little puddle jumper. Boat designed for bashing logs and stuff like that. So anyway, there's a shot of the bottom real quick and some of the abuse it takes. Little acetone on bare aluminum surface works great. Get any oil residue, stuff like that off of there, dirt, grime. If you're working with fiberglass or painted surface, I would look into suitable cleaner for that. I'm not sure about the acetone, but works great for bare aluminum. Little example of templates. There's a red plate on the boat. I use it for everything, finished carpentry. Use it all the time. So plenty of uses for it. Here's just a quick little demonstration on how to work with it. Make sure you steal your wifey's glue gun, or if you're lucky you have an industrial glue gun. And you pretty much just put all the pieces together and form a template around the area you're trying to work with. Going around straight edges is pretty easy. When you get to stuff that, say, isn't totally square straight, you can curve a little bit by cutting smaller pieces and working smaller pieces around a corner, or you can use some tape to fill in the gaps where you have some edges, some area between your straight template material and the curve that you're working with. Couple of shots of glue on each piece as you go around. Make sure you brace the template so it holds together once you pull it apart, so it's not super wobbly. Tape up any of those edges that you didn't use for template material, and there you go. So I just used the Sharpie to trace out the template on the hydroturf. If you make any mistakes, it seems like you can just rub the Sharpie right off of the hydroturf, so it's not that big of a deal. I started using scissors, the industrial scissors, to cut out the hydroturf on the swim deck, and later on I found out that using just the razor blade, even freehand, worked considerably better. Still use the scissors to round out the corners, but razor blade worked really well. So right here I have the swim deck weighted down with the spool of 30-pound MIG wire, and I have a couple of bolts on the swim deck. And all you do is just push down on it, and it dimples the sticky back paper on the back of the hydroturf, and you can use that as your guideline to cut it out. So there's the dimples, pretty easy to cut out. This didn't need to be perfect, so freehanding with the razor blade just works just fine. So I started working on my layout on the top lid to transfer to the bottom of the swim deck. I give this a little bit of character instead of just being full sheets. So mark my layout on top, transferred it to the bottom, and it'll look something like that. So once again, connecting my marks with a Sharpie works just fine. Take a framing square and cut it with a razor blade. Seemed to work the best. Even freehand worked really well. And I gave myself an inch in between my pieces so that I could have a drain for water and dirt, stuff like that when you wash it off. It's just the layout I gave myself in between the pieces. I ended up getting rained out the first day, so second day, more acetone, make sure it's nice and clean before you put it on. Now when I started with my layouts, the piece that's going to be the part that's going to be the most visible I would start with, because by the time you work to the end, it can move on you a little bit. Also, there's a shot of relieving the edges so that they aren't sharp. You don't catch on them and start peeling up your hydroturf eventually. Red tape, good stuff. Use it for everything. Help hold it down, keep it in place while I start with an edge, peel the edge, and once you get that stuck and you peel the backing underneath, you can start working the air bubbles and hydroturf forward to where you want to go. Here's an example of relieving the back edge so that you don't have a super sharp edge on the top of your hydroturf. I found that doing this this way with the backing up was the best way, but for cutting most of the hydroturf, it was easiest to cut on the face of the hydroturf. Make sure your hydroturf's going the right direction so you don't end up doing what I did. First piece, only piece I messed up on, but it happens. Redo. Was able to use it somewhere else later, but start from one edge, work to the other, use a weight to position and hold it in place, and start working it once you get it peeled. One thing you have to watch out for on these bulk sheets is their 3M sticky backing. Sometimes it doesn't completely cover the hydroturf, and if you cut a piece like that, well, it's not going to stick. So make sure you cut that off first. Here's ram board. Use it for template material. You find it at your local Home Creepo or Blows. And pretty easy to trace out your outlines for everything you need and cut it to size, and just happens to work on the other side when you flip it over. Ended up working out perfect that way. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and like, and if you have any questions, feel free to drop it down in the comments.